All righty. All right, guys. So this is Linda Choa here, CEO of Ekelin Academy. If you want to know more about what we do at Ekelin Academy, you just have to click the links below or visit ekelinacademy.com. I won't say much about that, but we're doing big things. All right, so you guys requested a video because you want to know how you guys want to know what it's like to be a nurse in America, because maybe you're thinking about coming to America. Maybe you live in Israel, Egypt, anywhere in the world. Even if you're in the UK and you're watching this video, you want to know what it is like to be a registered nurse in America. And I am going to break it down to you. All right, I am a registered nurse and I have my master's. Okay, first thing you have to know is that there are different types of registered nurses in the US. There are some nurses that don't go to a program, they just go to a diploma program and they become a registered nurse. Then there are those nurses that get a 2-year degree, which is called an associate's degree. They're still a registered nurse. Then we have those nurses that have the bachelor's degrees. Then we have those nurses that have the master's degrees. Then we have the nurses that are certified registered nurse anesthetists. Then we have our nurse practitioners. We have our doctor of nursing, doctor of our DNP, a doctorate of nurses, right? Those who have their DNP. So we've got the PhD nurses, okay? Those who've got the PhDs. So we have a different variety in the United States of nurses. Each one of us does something different. Each one of us works in a different environment, which is why it is so wonderful. You don't have to work the bedside. You don't have to clean poop if you don't want to. You don't have to see patients if you don't want to. As a nurse, you can just sit in the office and do paperwork, which is something I just cannot do, right? So, but what is it like? What is it like? I think people, they want to know what the work environment is like. They want to know how nurses feel and everything, right? Well, I'm going to tell you about my experience when I, was working at the bedside. And I think that that will kind of give you a great overview of what it's like to be a nurse in the United States. Guys, my main background is working as a critical care nurse. A critical care nurse, okay? Now, critical care nurses, especially in the United States, I got something here. They are highly, guys, which my eyebrows, I don't know what to do anymore because I don't do my own eyebrows. I always go to, the my little spot where I get the brow bar where I get my eyebrows done. And right now, this is COVID-19 right here. This is okay. I probably shouldn't even say that because we're not allowed to say the word, okay, on YouTube. But this is what's going on, and I'm gonna leave it at that, okay. So, what was I going to say? Yeah. So I lost my frame of thought. Yeah. So I am a critical care nurse, guys. It was a hard job. Let me tell you, when I was working on the unit, it was a tough job. I mean, there were so many things that were involved in being a critical care nurse that you would not believe. Okay, so being a nurse, especially in the United States, you require a certain mental skill set. You require higher knowledge. You have to read really a lot of books. You have to really know what you're doing because you are expected to know so many things and to understand so many things. And as a critical care nurse, I had to anticipate that my patients, okay, were going to go down the hill. I had to anticipate that my patients were on the verge of crashing. And I had to look for detailed signs and understand, things like how to read the EKGs, understand how to listen to lung sounds, understand, reading the labs and understanding, what the numbers that I'm seeing on the different machines are. And I had to make, quick decisions to say, okay, this is what I need. My patient's blood pressure's here. This is what I need to do, because the physicians there were just not there. So as a critical care nurse, I had to think on my feet. Okay. And so many times I had to make life changing decisions without a doctor's order. Okay. I was expected to make those life changing, those decisions, imperative decisions, because, we all know that if I do this, I'm going to save this patient. And it's just something that's known, that you have to know. And so, if you're used to working in an environment where you're used to physicians dictating every little thing, and telling you every second what you're going to have to do, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to transition here, because you have to really think, and you have to think fast about your patients. Okay. So I think being a nurse here is more stressful in the beginning. So in the beginning, I found it so hard. But as I gained more experience, it was wonderful, because now I knew when my patients were going to crash. I absolutely knew, when just by reading the patient's lab, okay, looking at the patient's EKG, and seeing that the QT interval was long, I could anticipate that, this patient is going to go into torsades, this patient's going to cold, so I could quickly call the doctor fast, and have him act, and I could stop that. So my patients, were doing very well, because now I was more experienced as a nurse. So I will say that being a nurse in America is going to be a little stressful for you in the beginning, but you will adapt to working here. You will adapt to working abroad, whether it's the UK or Canada, wherever you're trying to go. You'll adapt to that system, because much more will be required of you. A lot more will be required of you. Okay. Being here, your skill set is higher. You have to be the one to put in the IVs. I know in some countries nurses don't even put in IVs. You have to put in your IVs. You have to, oh my goodness, there's just so many skills that are required. You have to understand, what's going on with your patient, putting in NG tubes, taking your patients to different procedures, putting in Foley catheters, rectal catheters, setting up the patient for all the CVPs, and the different pressure bags and arterial lines, setting up for all of these procedures. And you have to know all of this, especially when you're working in the ICU. So it's really something that is different. And I think most of our cultures back home we're slow, and we're calm, and we move at a slow pace, and we think about everything that we're doing. And so I had to learn quickly that no, I have to react, I have to be quick, I have to be aggressive, because when I think initially when I started working as a nurse here, and I tried that, I'm not gonna stay calm. Oh, there's a code, and I would just walk to the code. I learned quickly that my coworkers were like, you better run, you know? So things are just they're faster here. They're more aggressive here. And it's hard in the beginning, guys, to get this, but eventually you will get this. You will get this. As a nurse in America, you have to be aggressive. You have to really be more aggressive. That timid person that we were back home in Africa, that timid person that we were when we were younger, taught to be quiet, to listen, to be slow, to that all that goes out the window. Over here, you have to learn to be aggressive. If you're gonna survive on those floors, you have to be aggressive. I've talked to some people, med surg floors, and they may have 8 patients. I couldn't believe it, 6 patients, and imagine you have 6 patients, okay? All of these patients are acutely ill. All of these patients have got all kinds of drips, and some are pulling out IVs, some are calling you names. Some are trying to crawl out of bed all at the same time. Some are going through alcohol withdrawal at the same time. And you are just expected, you are expected to, just take care of all of them. And you've got you in your 12-hour shift. Oh, and not to mention you have that one that's an alcohol, that's got liver issues and they're on medication where they're pooping. The ammonia patients that are on the lactulose and they're pooping every hour. And then you have CNAs, you have these nurse techs that are supposed to help you to clean them up. But guess what? If they run away or they hide out or they go to lunch or something, you're expected to go in there and take care of those patients. And in the ICU, when we had these patients that were going, pooping, because it was such a critical area, we don't just trust anyone to go in there and start cleaning the poop. Because I may have a patient that's on a ventilator, and then here you come as a nurse tech to try and change my patient and clean my patient, and then all of a sudden the ventilator pops out, right? The ventilator pops out. So I didn't, I was the type of person where I said, I don't want anyone touching my patient. I will do it. If it's poop, I will clean it. I will clean it. I will take care of it. That's what it's like. I think a lot of times people want to tell you, oh, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. It's chaos. It's chaos. Half the time it's chaos on your shift, So, and you have to know that. Now, unless you're working on one of these units, or it just depends what unit you're working on. But if you're going to work like med surg, PCU, ICU, the cancer floors, it's going to be chaos. And you have to get used to it. You have to get used to it. Okay. So that was my experience. I think a lot more is expected of you as far as your skill set, as far as how you respond to people. And then let me just tell you what it's been like working with my coworkers. Yes, a lot of you want to know what it's like. I will tell you, as an African, that most of the times I've been the only Black person on my unit. My first experience, my first hospital that I worked in, guys, it was a racist hospital. There were lots of racists. I had coworkers who were flat out racist, and they didn't even know that they were racist. And I'm sure one day they will see some of my videos, maybe 10 years from now, and say, oh, I remember her. And say, what is she talking about? We were racist. They were racist, flat out. So you may deal with situations to where you're coming from a foreign country, you have an accent, and now you're new, you're getting used to the system. People have to get used to you, and then they're racist. So how do you think they're going to treat you? So I say this to say, when you come here, when you work as a nurse in America as an African, you have to have thick skin. I had to learn how to develop thick skin, learn how to defend yourself, right? With this and this, right? Learn how to stand up for yourself, or you will get walked over. You will get accused of things that never happened, never happened. And I will talk a lot about some of those things as we continue in this channel, so I can kind of help you guys and teach you guys how to deal with certain situations. But yes, so I've been around. I've been around. And so you may experience racism. You may experience patients that don't want to have a Black nurse. You have to have thick skin. This is why I talk about this. And some of the nurses that I coach, I let you know that this is something that you may experience. This is something that you may, what are you going to do when a patient says, I don't want that nurse because she is Black, right? This is real. This happens, and it happened to me, and I had to develop thick skin. And in the beginning it was tough, but after a while I held my ground. I put my shoulders up. I developed this confidence to where when I'm going to work and I'm taking care of my patients, I'm letting you know I'm in charge here. You're not in charge here. I'm in charge, and I'm going to take care of you, and you're going to get over your racism. But for the 12 hours here, you're going to respect me, and I'm going to respect you. Coworkers, oh, some of them just, they're not used to working with Black nurses, African nurses. You will have problems getting the worst patients. Guys, most people don't tell you these things. Most people want to just give you like this happy picture. Yeah, working abroad. Because I think when you're thinking, you're like, I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be in America, Canada. It's lovely. I'm going to make money. But I tell you the truth. Your coworkers, white coworkers, other places, most of the time, especially if you're in a city that doesn't have a lot of Black people, where they're not used to seeing people of your color, they're going to treat you like crap. You're going to get the worst patients. You're going to get the patients that are pooping all over themselves. All over themselves. You're going to get those patients. You're going to get them. And if you are like Black, I say African Americans, you're African, okay? I just say African American. So if you're African American, you know, and you are intelligent, a Black person that is intelligent, you're a threat. You're a threat. If you make a mistake, they're going to write you up. You're going to get, you know, Becky with the good hair that is going to write you up because you forgot something. Write you up for every little thing. Okay? What little things are going to be just blown out of proportion because of your skin color. You have to know how to handle it. You have to know how to handle yourself in these situations, because these situations will come up. These situations will definitely come up. So, and I like to give you a real picture. And, when you work with us, like when you come to Ekelin Academy and you have a membership with our academy and you're going through these situations, you have full access to us. You have full access to me. You can text me and say, Linda, I'm going through this situation. This coworker did this. This person did this. How do I handle this situation? Even if you're in Africa, you can always ask me, how do I handle this situation? And I could tell you exactly how to handle it because I've done it. Because I've been a nurse since 2005. I've worked in different areas of nursing, and I have experienced different things. Most likely what you are experiencing, I have experienced. Or one of my partners, one of my team members has experienced it, right? We've been there, we've done that. There's nothing new under the sun. It's not the first time a patient is going to say they don't want you to be their nurse because you're Black. It's not the first time a coworker is going to falsely accuse you of something. These are things that happen. Okay, so that's what it's like, guys. These, I think, and I don't want to, discourage you guys, but this is me being real to you, not selling you a dream like what some other people want to sell you, right? It's a beautiful thing because you will always have a job. You will always be able to find a job, especially if you start off in the hospital and you gain skills like I did, like being a critical care nurse. You will always be that one person that everybody wants to hire because they assume that these critical care nurses know. So my experience as a nurse in America, I've never had any issues finding a job. Finding a job has been easy. Anywhere I go to apply, people are just like, bang, wanting you to work for them. That has been my experience, guys, right? So another great thing, I know you guys want me to talk about this because it is lovely. And guys, I'm going to start shooting during the daytime because this camera, the lighting is not, it's not good at all. But we just have to make do, okay? So I usually use this camera. I got myself, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is like can you guys see that? The Lumix camera, right? This is the deal right here. As soon as I figure out how to use it, then I'll start using it. I'll start using it for these videos. So what I was gonna say, oh yeah, lastly, when it comes to this, ooh, money. I make good money, guys. I make good money. I won't lie to you. Most nurses in America make enough money. Depending on where you live in the United States, there's no set price where every nurse makes 300, 400, or whatever. It just depends what you do, what your skill set is, where you work. Every nurse, it doesn't, it just depends, okay? It depends. Just because you have a bachelor's doesn't mean you'll make more than someone that has an associate's. Just because you have a master's, it doesn't mean you'll make more than someone that has a bachelor's degree, okay? It's just all going to vary. It's all going to be different, and you guys are going to see how that's going to work, okay? So, and I'm gonna get there, right? Let me see. At least I will say I make a minimum of $90,000 a year. That's a minimum of $90,000 a year. And that's for California, okay? That's for Cali. $90,000 a year. That's how much I make. Um, that's a minimum. That's really a minimum. I don't take anything less than $50 an hour. I refuse that. I'm not going to take it because I know what I'm worth. I know exactly what I am worth. And you guys know that I'm in a doctorate program. So when I finish, I will be a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So guys, I will be making anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000 a year. That's nursing for you in America. It's absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I think when you choose to be a nurse, you open so many doors for yourself. Even if you are a nurse in Africa or wherever you are, do you know that the doors are open for you? Do you know that you can go work in Dubai as a nurse? Do you know that you can go work in the UK as a nurse? You can go work anywhere that you want to work. Don't let people, guys, I appreciate all kinds of people on the internet that want us in the diaspora to come home. I love Africa. I appreciate all of us, those people that are saying they need to come home, stay, don't go abroad, just stay. I appreciate that, you know, and we love home. If you want to stay and you are passionate about staying in your home country, by all means, stay and work. But don't don't look down on those of us who have gone abroad and made lives for ourselves abroad and are doing well. And guys, don't listen to these lies that some of these people tell you that all Africans that are abroad are broke. They don't have anything. We nurses in the diaspora, we're not broke. We're not broke. And we make good money. We make a good living. That's why we're here doing what we're doing. That's why we're here doing what we're doing. Imagine an RN who gets her doctorate degree, right? Working as a psychiatric nurse practitioner in the state of California, making up to $200,000 a year. Where have you seen that? You know, the opportunities for you as a nurse are endless. So don't let people scare you. Don't let COVID, I can't say it. Don't let this thing that's going on right now scare you. Don't let the things that you see right now that are scaring you. They're changes. Changes are being made, and they're going to be good changes, and these changes are going to affect you in a positive way, so that when you finally do go abroad, things are going to be better for you. Respect the movement. Respect what's going on right now. You know? So I know I'm going to get the trolls. I'm going to get the trolls because there's always trolls who want to tell me all kinds of things, right? But I'm giving you my answer. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm telling you about what it's like for me. It's been wonderful. It's the best decision that I ever made, guys. The best decision that I ever made. And well, some of you probably want to know if I would ever go work as a nurse back home in my home country, the answer is no. The answer is absolutely no, because I cannot imagine working and working as hard as I do and making the amount of money that they pay you back home. So I couldn't do it. And then the autonomy that I get, you know, I question. I'm the type of person, I question physicians, doctors. I challenge physicians, doctors. I have my own mindset. I have a high skill set, and I have to use that. You know, I talk too much. You know, so I doubt that I would be successful in that environment because of my mouth, which is why I started the Eklund Academy, guys. The Eklund Academy, because you guys, when you become a member, you're going to learn so many skills, so many skills. You're going to learn critical care skills. You're going to learn med surg skills. You're going to learn so many things in our academy that are going to make you a better nurse when you go to work every day. It's only $30 a year to become a member, and you get so many things, right? So visit ekelinacademy.com, guys, if you want to know more about what we're doing and to become our member, to work with us, right? So yeah, and yeah, so that's what it's like to be a nurse abroad. You know, no, we're not struggling. We're making good money. We're making good money. You know, so and we have a lot of autonomy. We always have work, as you can tell with what happened during this whole thing. In the U.S., there were nurses making 25,000 U.S. dollars a month. They were paying nurses $5,000, anywhere from $5,000 on a per week to work. So imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. So, guys, if you are interested in our work abroad program, it is $100. We're not budging on that. One of my other videos, I go over what we do and how we do it, how we help you. We're not immigration. We're not a job agency. We just show you, tell you what you have to do. You have to do the work for yourself. But if you don't know what to do, where can you start? So that's what the class is about. Feel free, you can Google it. You can Google it. You can find the information, you know, just like we did, you know. But it took us hours, long hours, sleepless nights to find out all that information that we have. And it's going to be very difficult for you to find out all the information that we have. So, but feel free, you know, if you want to come and work in the US and you want to find a job, you want to find an agency that's going to do it, you know, and you have the money, you have the $5,000 or however much they're charging, that might be that's a great option for you. Do it, pay the money. But let us know if you're our member. Let us know if you're a member of our organization, Eklund Academy. We can help you and make sure that you don't choose a company that's going to take your money and run. There's a lot of desperate people out there right now that are doing very bad things, like Trump says. They're doing bad things. Um, mhm. All right, guys. So that's it. That's what it's like. That's what it's been like for me. It's been positive. I've had a lot of, you know, difficult times, you know, as a nurse here, but it's also been positive as well. So I hope I kind of gave you an idea, a realistic idea of what it's like to be a nurse here in America. Bye bye.